Here we go. Hello. Hello, everyone. I have a whole mirror behind me. You could tell I have not worked this background just yet, but I'm working on it. And as I'm live, my daughter decides she wants to come in. What's up?
Sorry. Just want to see how it's going.
I'm just starting. But cool. I'm on both. Here, let me make sure I adjust this. There we go. I think this is better. Oh, you got more camera in the way. We don't want the camera in the way. We want the camera right. Yes.
Oh, can I split a body place?
Okay. All right. So I think we are good. Now you can see me here. Other than that, the mirror is going to bother me because it's like you see the back of me. It's oddly placed. Give me 1 second. Okay. Just. You already got my studio here because we're working on it. We're working on it. I'm gonna get a picture. I have a mirror right here, ready to another. We're working on all of this. This has given me the opportunity to kind of start what I'm doing here so you guys know exactly what this is. Let me introduce myself. So, hey everybody, my name is Tahir Renee Christie. I am the founder and creative director of Amour Propre, which means self-love in French, and I manufacture personal hygiene products that cater to sensitive skin from a melanated perspective. And one of the key things that I love to do is to offer people advice and information that can help promote healthy self-esteem as well as healthy self-awareness. And of course, we're into talking about our bodies and people's mental health and things of that nature. And I decided to start this podcast because I realized there's a lot of information out there about a lot of different things, and nobody's talking about the kitty cat the way that they should. And I'm not talking about animals. I'm talking about your women's health specifically, and to answer some of the questions that I get in my inbox all the time from girls who are too embarrassed to talk about it out loud. And I want you to know right now, gynecologists and health professionals only have their training to offer you. Our moms didn't tell us enough, and what they did tell us wasn't always correct. Our friends typically lie to us about the things that we need to know about our bodies, and oftentimes the information on the internet is just sparse and not always true and correct for most bodies. The crazy part is 50% of the population have these body parts, and some of the other population want to have and get these body parts. But if you were born female and you have body parts that you are trying to maintain their pH balance and keeping it clean, if we will, so that way your nether regions, the lower half of your body and midsection of your body is well taken care of, there are things you just need to know. And that's why I am here. I want to be able to educate and inspire people with proper information that is both Western medical, Eastern medical, as well as just good common sense practices that I, as an entrepreneur and a founder, have created products that focus on those issues. I want to promote not just my products, but the information and the education. So that's why I'm here. So today's episode is going to be a little bit different than last time. This episode is called Freshness versus Fragrance. What it really means to what clean really means down there. That's the title. Freshness versus fragrance. What clean really means down there. And clean is such a broad term. Oftentimes, when we talk about vaginal health specifically, people think that we're talking about the outside of the vaginal region of the body, but that is a part of the body that never needs to be bothered or touched because that part of your body is actually self-regulating. When I'm talking about women's health and freshness down there, I'm specifically talking about from your fupa to your pupa, meaning underneath your belly area all the way to the top part of the crack of your end. That part of your body needs to be clean, it needs to be dry during certain times, and pH balanced. And we talked last episode about what pH balanced means. So I'm going to recap that real quick. Balanced for skin, meaning your arms, your legs, things like that, is 7. pH balance is 7, right? When we drink water, we want to drink pH balanced water that is not too alkaline and not too acidic. However, our face and our groin area, both male and female, the pH needs to be at around a 3.8 to about a 4.5. That's acidic. And most people don't know that. They assume that it needs to be much higher or alkaline, knowing the foods that we eat need to be alkaline to prevent cancer. But our groin area needs to actually be more acidic in order to accommodate the acidity of that part of the body so that it stays in its balance. So its balance is much lower than what pH being 7 is. So that's the myth we want to dispel. So a lot of times people were like, oh, well, if I want to be fresh down there, it should smell like flowers and lilies and peaches and all kinds of other things. That is not necessarily true. We want to make sure what is normal and what is abnormal gets disproved. And you should not be smelling like flowers and floral and anything that's synthetic in that part of your body. You actually want to realistically have a neutral scent. You should smell like you, right? And not you in a fishy sense or not you in Bath and Body Works sense. You should smell like just neutral. And there are ways to be able to kind of sense the different smells based on the time of the month that you're experiencing, whether you're going through hormone changes or you've had intimate acts or you have just cleaned yourself or you just came from the gym. There are varying levels of scent that are going to come out. And you want to be honest with yourself how clean you've been and how you choose to cleanse your body. Now, we talked last week about cleansing and cleansing being so important to the general health of your outer groin area. Some people only use water. That's not enough. Some people use soap. That's too much. There's a lot in between to take into consideration. And last week we talked about Yoni washes and we talked about feminine washes. Most of those are just not very great. If you're using a thick gel to wash down there, that's entirely too much cleanser. And I say cleanser, not soap, because I'm not talking about soap at all. Not bar soap, not liquid soap. I'm talking about cleansing. I recommend using a foaming wash. Foaming washes is like 10% soap cleanser. And the rest of it is usually water for most types of cleansers that are foaming. I happen to make a Yoni wash that is actually 50% of that water is aloe vera. So it's actually quite soothing. There's also witch hazel in this, which is also very soothing and cleansing, and apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is very acidic. A lot of times women used to use apple cider vinegar internally to cleanse. It's not necessary inside directly. It's great on the outside part of your groin to ensure that the pH is fresh and is balanced. This is probably my number one seller. This is the lavender scented one. We also have an unscented one as well as a cucumber and chamomile version for folks who are not sensitive. I'm not sensitive. I didn't have 4 kids. You got no problems. So depending on your profile, you can use any of these. And this is great because it is a liquid version that turns into a foam when you pump it. 4 to 6 pumps, wipe it from your fupa to the poopa. Make sure you get in them little crevices and rinse it off and you're done. That's as much cleansing as you need to do. That's why I oftentimes recommend it. And it's not going to leave you smelling like flowers and daffodils, even though it does have an essential oil scent to it. But I recommend it because it's not too much soap. It's not too much cleanser. Actually, the cleanser that we use in here, the base of this, is the equivalent of baby wash. So something you would put on a newborn baby is about all you should be using in your groin area. So I highly recommend checking out Emulprope's Yoni Clean, which is a Freshness, beautiful, amazing cleanser that helps you to stay clean. So I want to go into a couple of questions. I got a couple of inbox questions that I want to share with you all. And we can talk about these questions and see if maybe you have some of these questions for yourself. And see if I could answer how to deal with this. So one woman said, I use scented soap because I want to feel fresh, but now I'm hearing it's not good. What am I actually supposed to use? Well, the cool part is we just kind of talked about that. You're supposed to use a feminine wash that is a cleanser that's not a thick gel, that's not a soap. There's a lot of bar soaps going around the internet. A lot of people have Yoni bar soaps. Those are just melt and pour soaps that they've added additives to. And oftentimes those are not good because the pH in them is way too high. When you make a melt and pour soap, You can add citric acid to it to lower the pH, but ultimately, there's all the soap in that has already been processed. And in order to drop the pH, you have to add so many additives to it that it ends up throwing it off in some capacity where the pH can't necessarily be trusted. So if it's in bar form, likely the pH is not going to be corrected because you have to really heat that up to a high enough heat in order to add that citric acid, have it melt in there, and then lower it. Not worth it, I promise you. Use a gentle foaming wash is the most that you should be using in your groin area to get it clean. So to answer your question, scented soap is not okay. First of all, no soap, no soap in your groin area, no soap, no soap, and definitely not scented soap. I make scented soap, and I tell people all the time, you can use it here, you can use it here, you can use it here. Do not use it here and here because those pH are not going to be correct for you, and you want to make sure that you are using things that are correct for the pH part of the body that you're using it for. So another question that popped up, is it normal for things to smell a little stronger after working out or being out all day? Well, absolutely. Especially if you're a big girl. Come on. If your thighs are rubbing together and doing this, whether you're a big girl, whether you're working out, whether whatever, it's called friction, right? And friction creates heat. Heat creates sweat. Sweat creates bacteria. Bacteria throws pH off, right? And so one of the things that is really important if you can't get to a shower is having something that can be used in between showers that can help reset your pH. I created a product called Yoni Milk. Yoni Milk is a pH resetter. This is chock full, and I should have mentioned, this is chock full of probiotics and apple cider vinegar. It has so many great things in it. It's ridiculous. But the probiotics is what sets us apart. And we also have this with probiotics in as well. So you can actually spray your way into a balanced pH because the probiotics eat away at nasty bacteria. So even if you have bad bacteria from friction, your legs rubbing together, sweat accumulating in between your legs, you have the ability to reset your pH with this Yoni Milk because this not only has aloe vera and probiotics in it, it also is soothing and it manages odor and irritation without perfumes or dyes. It does have an amazing scent. It is roses and lavender, again, for us non-sensitive girlies. But everybody who uses this loves it because I, for one, am notorious for going to the gym and then going to the grocery store and then going to pick up my daughter and then going to the next. And I don't have time to take a shower and I don't make time to take a shower, right? So this product is amazing because it allows me to feel fresh in between showers. And there's no real product like that on the market. There are some sprays, but oftentimes they're aerosol and they're not natural. There is actually separation happening here because this is a natural product and you have to shake it and then you spray from the fupa to the pupa and it actually resets your pH no matter what you were doing until you can get home and actually do a proper cleansing. So I highly recommend it, especially if you're very active, because it gives you an opportunity to kind of reset your body and keep your pH at a balanced way so that you are feeling fresh, you smell great without smelling like you are scented. You know what I mean? That's why I love using essential oils because they have a scent to them, but they're therapeutic and have benefits as well. Okay, so this is a great question here. Somebody asked, how often should I actually wash that area? Like once a day, twice a day? That's a great question. You don't necessarily need to wash your groin area every single day. It really depends on what you're doing, right? I come from old school. Old school believes you take a shower once or twice a day, every single day, but you're really honestly washing away natural bacteria that do exist on the body. But as active as I am, and as many things as I do, I just got off my period. You will catch me in the shower twice a day, every day. I don't care what's happening because I take probiotics and I also use products with probiotics in them, as well as replacing that natural bacteria that we need on our bodies. So if you do cleanse once or twice a day, you have to replenish. It's like people who wash their hair and don't condition it, or people who wash their bodies and don't put lotion on, right? So it's important that even if you are going to wash once or twice a day because you want to feel clean, you need to moisturize. I have this product called Sweet Yoni. It's actually quite amazing. And Sweet Yoni, I used to only use for intimate times with my husband, but now I use it every single day. I use it every day in order to give my body the extra moisture that I need. And it's in an oil form. And people are like, well, oily, I have oily skin. Why would I put oil on my groin area? Well, what do you use? And the reality is most people don't use anything and they're itching and wondering why they're itching, number one, they're using soap and not a cleanser. And I highly recommend using a cleanser like a foaming wash over a soap, and using a moisturizer which has oils in it that protect, coat, and also penetrate the delicate area of the labia, the lips, if you will, of your groin area. Wipe it again from your fupa to your pupa to ensure that you have a protective barrier to protect that area. Because a lot of girlies, let's just break this down. A lot of girlies like to shave their pubes. And when you shave your pubes, you are literally cutting off your defense system to protect that part of your body. You're just cutting it off. And I get it. It's aesthetic. Don't feel good. Some of us are more hairier than others. There's a lot going on down there. But if we're going to talk about this in a real way, the reality is you need something to protect that delicate skin right there. And Sweet Yoni does just that. Whether you have hair, don't have hair, the type of oils that are used in this are so subtle and beautiful that half of them penetrate the skin to actually change the very texture of the labia. The other half coat and protect the skin to ensure that there's a barrier, a layer between wiping and funk down there, so that you smell clean, you feel clean, you wipe better. Like for me, just alone, just wiping, when I have this on, I wipe and I'm like, wow, everything comes off because it's not stuck to my body anymore. Because when you don't have nothing down there, that was a double negative. Okay, when you don't have nothing down there, when you don't have anything to protect your delicate skin, you're literally asking for bacteria to come right into your skin. So to have this oil on protects the barrier of your skin so that you are now protected in a way that not only takes care of the skin, but also prevents additional bacteria from entering into that part of your body as a dual action oil. Highly, highly recommend. I've sold over 6,000 bottles of this in the last 6 years. These are all handmade. This does not come from China. This is made right here in Southern California in the United States. And I always recommend it to people because there's nothing like this out there. You can type in Yoni oil on Amazon right now, and 17 different companies will pop up. 16 of them are from China. And then there's me. And it's because I'm one of the few people that, and I'm not the cheapest either. There's like people who are selling these two for $10. Mine is $24.99 for the small and $34 for the big. Why? Because I used real oils. They're organic. They're made for this part of the body. Things like MTC oil, which is, you should be eating this oil. It's really amazing. Pretty much you can eat this, with the exception of there are therapeutic essential oils instead of food-based ones. But we use whole food items because that's how your body works. If you're going to put anything in that part of your body, it should be 100% natural. And the cool part about this, I don't know if you can see it. I'll show you here. What's floating in here is lavender and roses. And I don't know if you can see here, there is amethyst. You see the stones right here? There's an amethyst, and there's also a quartz in here. And the amethyst and the quartz are because this is a sacred, divine experience for women. I put amethyst because amethyst means peace, and quartz is a cleanser. And we also have rose quartz in here, which means love. So those stones, as you shake this up, put a little in your hand and rub it from your fupa to your pupa, it's a sacred moment of femininity to protect and give yourself peace in the part of the body that experiences so much. As a mother of four, my body has been through some things. You hear me? So as a result, every time that I experience this ritualistic, beautiful oil, it is me loving myself. It is pure self-love in a bottle, where I say, as I've cleansed off the day and I add my oil at the end of the day and I go to sleep, whether my husband bothers me or not, I have done something that helps me to self-care for myself. And I love it. I smell like roses and lavender, and it coats and protects me in such a way that I'm like, I feel 16 again. The whole point is moisturize with something. So just to answer the question, how often should I wash down there? Like once or twice a day? Doesn't matter. You can wash 17 times a day. Replace the healthy bacteria and protect and coat your delicate skin. So I can't tell you how many times to shower. Everybody's going to do it at different times, but you got to do your due diligence to protect yourself. And that's going to be with a good cleanser that's gentle and with a proper moisturizer. That's what Sweet Yoni offers. If you're interested, you can definitely go on my website. It's amourp.com, AMOURP as in Paul.com. And we have these products available there. I also will touch upon a couple other things. I highly recommend a gentle aloe vera based wet wipe. You can use these in lieu of spray. to cleanse that area. But again, if you wipe, you want to also moisturize because you're wiping away bad bacteria and good bacteria. And so you want to replace that good bacteria with the good bacteria in this because it's got probiotics in it. And one of the other things we have a product called the Kitty Kit. It's not up here. Sorry, I didn't bring it, but I do try to add these little information guides to anything that I sell that has Yoni associated with it. Most of us just don't know. We've never been properly taught how to take care of our lady bits. And I have 3 daughters, and I'm so all about education and inspiring women to empower themselves with information education. That's why I'm doing Yoni Talk Live. And this education piece talks about it's a vaginal health guide, your path to a pH balanced feminine healthcare routine. So you can keep this on your mirror. You can put this on your in your bathroom. It tells you what to do every single day. Daily practices, proper washing techniques, pat dry, wearing breathable underwear, avoiding tight clothes, and when to seek medical advice. And then on the flip side, it gives more information about lifestyle factors and things. So you have me with you every day, even if you don't log on to my live or you don't get an opportunity to inbox me or ask me questions directly. You have this with you. And for my advanced girlies who really are into holistic health and vaginal health and yoni support, I do have a steam. I didn't start steaming until I was well into my 40s, actually, because I was afraid of it. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know how good or bad it was, but I really realized how beautiful this process can be with just simple ingredients, simple herbs. The things in this is like it's not strawberry. That'd be delicious if strawberries was in it. Roses. It's got lavender in it. It's got red raspberry leaves. These are all organic ingredients, and you simply boil this in a pot of water. You get yourself a little sitz bath, put it on your toilet, and you sit for 20 minutes and just let it steam. And after your period, it literally calms the womb. It literally rejuvenates that part of your body. It's the same as if you put, my mom, when I was younger, she used to put a pot of hot water and all her herbs, and she would put a towel over that and steam her face. The easiest way to naturally take care of yourself. It opens up your pores, keeps you beautiful here. But guess what? You can do it down here too. Anybody saying do it really hot? It can be a very warm temperature. You have to adjust it for your liking. But some girlies who don't want to do that, just put it in their bath water and scoop it out when they're done. We also have tea bags that you can have so you can pull it out of your bathtub easily. But it's something very beautiful. Again, a divine experience of femininity, and it's beautiful to practice so that you can ensure that you smell and feel amazing without harsh chemicals. That's the biggest thing, is ensure that you are taking care of your body by taking care of your femininity. It's literally your foundation. So I'm going to wrap this up today. I'm going to be back. Actually, I won't be back this Thursday. I might have to do a little pop-up show on Friday because I'll miss this Thursday because I'll be at Disneyland taking my 11-year-old to the Magic Kingdom for spring break. She had to go to the doctor yesterday and get four shots and blood drawn. And then tomorrow she's going to the dentist. So she had to go through some things. So I was like, let me reward you. But I appreciate you all for hopping on my live. This will repeat itself on my YouTube. So definitely check it out at Love Amour Propre. That's LOVEAMOUR, P as in Paul, ROPRE. And you can visit our website at www.amourp.com. My name is Tahira Renee Christie. I am founder and creative director of Amour Propre Wellness and Beauty. And I'm happy to have Yoni Talk Live with you. And I will see you guys next week on Tuesday. Thanks. Bye-bye.